Good evening, class. This is Professor Raft. We're doing Chapter 3 in Principles of Management, Values, Attitudes, Emotions, and Culture, the Manager as a Person. As you remember from last week's class, we spoke about the behavioral school of management, and that we saw from the Hawthorne studies how important it is to understand the behavior, the interplay between employees and their managers. So we'll talk about the manager as a person today. So it's values, attitudes, emotions, and culture, the manager as a person. The learning objectives for tonight are, number one, to describe the various personality traits that affect how managers think, feel, and behave. Explain what values and attitudes are and describe their impact on managerial action. Appreciate how moods and emotions influence all members of an organization. Describe the nature of emotional intelligence and its role in management. And believe me, when we get through speaking about that, you'll understand how important it is. Define organizational culture and explain how managers both create and are influenced by organizational culture. Let's speak about personality traits. Personality traits are particular tendencies to feel, think, and act in certain ways that can be used to describe the personality of every individual. Managers' personalities influence their behavior and their approach to managing people and resources. The next slide, Big Five personality traits. Managers' personalities can be described by determining which point on each of the following dimensions best characterizes the manager in question. We'll talk about extraversion, negative affectivity, agreeableness, conscientiousness, and openness to experience. So, in the Big Five personality traits are those that enhance managerial effectiveness in one situation may actually impair it in another. Something used in one scenario may be very good, but used in another scenario may be very harmful. Let's speak about extraversion, slide 3 of 6 with the Big Five personality traits. Extraversion is a tendency to experience positive emotions and moods and feel good about oneself and the rest of the world. Happy-go-lucky happy. Negative affectivity, tendency to experience negative emotions and moods, feel distressed, and be critical of oneself and others. That is definitely something that will never work, neither for positive or it'll definitely only do negative. And the reason for that is that your employees will feed off of that negative energy and they will definitely not want to perform at their best for you. Being a sourpuss is definitely not the way to go. Agreeableness, slide 5 of 6, tendency to get along well with others. Conscientiousness, the second bullet on that slide, tendency to be careful, scrupulous, and persevering. Slide 6 of 6, openness to experience, tendency to be original, have broad interests, be open to a wide range of stimuli, be daring, and take risks. Now, with that in particular, you may have some cultures that are very, very austere, very, very old school, and this is the way we've been doing it, and taking big risks would definitely be something that may be dangerous in that kind of environment, and you would have to think twice about it. Next slide, other personality traits that affect managerial behavior. Internal locus of control. Internal locus of control is the belief that you are responsible for your own fate. Your own actions and behaviors are major, decisive determinants of job outcomes. In other words, the buck stops with you. Slide 2 of 5, external locus of control, the tendency to locate responsibility for one's fate in outside forces and to believe one's own behavior has little impact on outcomes. That is very fatalistic and dangerous to have in business. Self-esteem, something that's very, very important in life, whether it's your personal or business life, is the degree to which people feel good about themselves and their capabilities, and that is infectious. You have high levels of self-esteem, you become more positive, that exudes to others and, of course, makes you liked. High self-esteem causes a person to feel competent, deserving, and capable. People with low self-esteem have poor opinions of themselves and are unsure about their capabilities, and people sense it. And you'll definitely not be a good leader by having a low self-esteem. Need for achievement is the extent to which an individual has a strong desire to perform challenging tasks well and to meet personal standards for excellence. Need for power, the extent to which an individual desires to control or influence others. And again, the need for power is quite dangerous. It's like a weapon. It could actually be used in a very, very bad way. Need for affiliation, the extent to which an individual is concerned about establishing and maintaining good interpersonal relations, being liked, and having other people get along. Also could be very dangerous because you're not running for office. People don't have to love you. They have to obviously respect you, feel comfortable around you, but it's not a love fest. We're not here to everybody loves me. I have to be popular and do things to make everybody happy. That's not what a true manager does or should be thought of doing. It's not going to lead to good. Values describe what managers try to achieve through work and how they think they should behave. Attitudes, again, we're in the slide that says values, attitudes, moods, and emotions. Attitudes capture managers' thoughts and feelings about their specific jobs and organizations. Moods and emotions encompass how managers actually feel when they are managing. Values, terminal and instrumental, slide 1 of 3. Terminal values, a lifelong goal or objective that an individual seeks to achieve. Instrumental values, a mode of conduct that an individual seeks to follow. Norms are unwritten informal codes of conduct that prescribe how people should act in particular situations and are considered important by most members of a group or organization. So that's what's considered to be normal and acceptable. A value system, these are the terminal and instrumental values that are guiding principles in an individual's life, what a person is striving to achieve in life, and how they want to behave. The next slide of attitudes is a chart, figure 3.3, 2 measures of job satisfaction. You can look at that on your own. Attitudes, slide 2 of 4, job satisfaction. A collection of feelings and beliefs that managers have about their current jobs. Managers high in job satisfaction believe their jobs have many desirable features or characteristics. Upper managers in general tend to be more satisfied with their jobs than entry-level employees. And the higher one rises in the hierarchy, the more satisfied they'll be. But you always have the exception to the rule. The higher people get, the less satisfied they are because they're always greedy. They want to get higher. They're not happy where they are. And of course, that bleeds through in their personality. Slide 3 of 4 in attitudes, organizational citizenship behaviors that are not required of organizational members, but that contribute to and are necessary for organizational efficiency, effectiveness, and competitive advantage. Organizational commitment, the collection of feelings and beliefs that managers have about their organization as a whole. Organizational commitment, believe in what their organizations are doing, proud of what their organizations stand for, more likely to go above and beyond the call of duty, less likely to quit. Moods and emotions, slide 1 of 4. Mood is a feeling or state of mind. Positive moods provide excitement, elation, and enthusiasm. Negative moods lead to fear, distress, and nervousness, which of course affect others. Moods and emotions, slide 2 of 4. Emotions, intense, relatively short-lived feelings, often directly linked to whatever caused the emotion and are more short-lived. Once whatever has triggered the emotion has been dealt with, the feelings may linger in the form of a less intense mood. Moods and emotions, subordinates of managers who experience positive moods at work may perform at somewhat higher levels and be less likely to resign and leave the organization because they feel a sense of affiliation, they feel a part of it, they feel like they belong. Under certain conditions, creativity might be enhanced by positive moods. Moving along. Moods and emotions, slide 4 of 4, a measure of positive and negative mood at work. You could look at it, it has a continuum between active and jittery, and of course, very slightly or not at all, a little moderately. You could look at it on your own. And also there's a link on the bottom to jump to Appendix 3 for a description of it. Emotional intelligence. So we have IQ, and what IQ is supposed to measure is your intelligence, how smart you are, for lack of a better word. It's called intelligence quotient. EQ, or EI, is the ability to understand and manage one's own moods and emotions, and the moods and emotions of other people. Helps managers carry out their interpersonal roles of figurehead, leader, and liaison. It's very, very important to understand that if you have very little emotional intelligence, even though you're a very, very smart person, you are going to be in a lot of trouble. And I will put up a video, actually, that talks about emotional intelligence and how to manage people. And it's going to be the Pike's Place fish market. It's going to be really, really cool. You'll see why. Okay, and it helps managers carry out their interpersonal roles of figurehead, leader, and liaison. Continuation of emotional intelligence. Managers with a high level of emotional intelligence are more likely to understand how they are feeling and why. And it's very important. For example, if you had a fight with somebody in your personal life on the weekend, I don't know, your wife, your husband, your parents, your kids, and then you come into work on Monday and you are not an emotionally intelligent person, you may just take that home situation with you to work, and as a result, take it out on the employee. I call it the kick the dog syndrome. You're mad, you come home, what's the first thing you see? The dog, you kick the dog. Very, very bad, incorrect way of behaving. But if you're emotionally intelligent and you come in and you feel like you're in a foul mood on Monday, you realize, you know why I'm in a foul mood? Because my wife, my kid, my brother, my sister, whomever, got me upset. And as a result of that, I'm not feeling my best. So I have to be very careful when I interact with anybody to make sure that I'm not going beyond the decent boundary, in that I will say, I really shouldn't say that because I really don't feel that I should be saying that because I am not feeling myself. So better for me to keep quiet, to not so much suppress, but to not allow yourself to explode unnecessarily. Second point in emotional intelligence, slide 2 of 2, more able to effectively manage their feelings so that they do not get in the way of effective decision making. Especially if you don't like something about someone, maybe you have a personal situation with someone at work, and you're truly emotionally intelligent and intellectually honest, you're not